Hello you plonkers and welcome back to another video on the Drewzy channel. We're outside today and I'm hanging out with this pig of a man. He swindled his way onto my channel again somehow.
I'm just here for the clout.
Yeah, you are. Jesse's lost his relevance, so now he's just banking on my videos.
That's too close to home, man. It's too close to truth.
Back again with one of the every AFL's team's last. Well, it doesn't really make sense, but you get it. We're going through every team's last player to win the Rising Star. So we're just going to get straight into it.
Let's go alphabetically with the Crows. Daniel, son of Jenny Talia.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get a little joke in there early. He is one of only 2 key position players to win this award in the last 15 years, so that's pretty nice and stanky.
And what position is that?
He was a key defender. He's a key defender, I should say. He was a first rounder in the 2009 draft, and he's always been one of those players that's been very, very good, at times elite, but nothing really too special beyond that. And Adelaide have done well. He's a Victorian boy, and he has never been lured home despite every other player on their list wanting to leave.
You like luring young players home, don't you, Jesse?
Especially the son of genitalia.
I don't know who genitalia is.
No, it's a joke, genitalia. I don't know who genitalia is. Ain't that the truth?
The Brisbane Lions' last rising star was Lewis Taylor in 2014. He's moved to Sydney since, and yeah, he didn't do very well in Sydney. He only played 9 games. I'm not sure if he was injured.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he was just picked on form. I could be wrong, but I just don't think he was picked on form. But that's a wild one that he won the Rising Star. When you look at the draft,
I was going to say, I've got a list here. So Josh Kelly, Jack Billings, Bontempelli, Salem, Dom Sheed, Paddy Cripps, Matt Crouch, Zach Merritt, Rory Lobb, Ben Brown, Sicily, Fantasia, Jeremy McGovern, Ed Kerno, Zach Williams, and Rory Laird.
That's stinky.
And Louis Taylor.
Yeah, subsequently delisted. Yeah,
he's a forward, and he's probably not kicking enough goals and not living up to the hype of being the Rising Star.
And boy, no. Please be kind to me on the edit.
Yeah, all right.
And boy, nah. All right, next up, we got the Blues, and everyone will remember this guy, Sammy Walsh, who won it just last year, obviously, with one of the best Rising Star seasons we've ever seen. He had 25 disposals a game and 10 contested, which is pretty much unheard of. Like most first-year skinny players like that. Up until someone like Matty Rowell the next year, we'd never seen anything quite like that. Who knows what Matty Rowell would have done. His second year this year wasn't quite as good, but he was still pretty decent with 20 and a half disposals in a short and quartered game. So that's pretty good. He's played 39 games, and yeah, he's probably going to be a 300 gamer.
He looks like he'll be like a Cade Simpson serviceable level player, you know what I mean? Like he seems like he'll have a long career at the Blues. Once he hits his prime and around Cripper's time as well, that'll be a deadly midfield. So yeah,
hot.
Good pickup from Carlton there. And yeah, definitely a worthy Rising Star. Next, the Pies have got Jaden Stevenson. Now, he had a big 2018. He kicked 38 goals in his first season in the AFL. Wet. That's wet.
Wet with 2 T's.
He played every game in his first season as well and played in the grand final, which you were at.
Yeah, and he kicked 2 sick goals as well.
Yeah, good on him. Decent rookie season. Decent 2019, even though he did have that issue with the betting, the TAB. He kicked, I think, 24 goals in about 14 games, so decent return. But this year has been pretty shit, hey?
Yeah, they're talking about showing in the door either by trade or delisting. Like, I've heard some fans say that maybe they're just going a bit wild. I don't know if it's that point, but I would happily take him for the year.
Yeah, he's a gun, hey? I bet he will have a better season next year.
Let's keep tabs on him. TAB, because it's a joke. Yeah,
I got it, man. That was a funny one.
Yeah. That would be a sports bet.
Hello, this next one was meant to be Andy McGrath, but we did Dyson Heppell instead. Alright, sorry, thank you, see you later.
Next up, we got the Bombers with Dyson Heppell winning this in the 2011 season, and this one was close to my heart because the runner-up and robbed runner-up, I should say, is my boy Luke Shuey. So Heppell won it in his first year. I think he was pick 8, and Shuey was a third-year player at the time who was eligible because he hadn't played enough games. I thought Shuey was the better player, and I kind of think they picked Heppell because he was younger. And I don't
Vic
know.
Bias.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But, he said it all. But either way, Dyson's had a great career. He's the current captain. He's been a long-serving midfielder, and it's kind of been that successor to Joe Watson when Joe Watson eventually made his way from the club. He's never been a truly elite player, but he's played 172 games for him, and definitely a very, very good pickup for them in that 2010 draft.
No Norm Smith medalist though, is he?
Oh, no. Oh, that's it. I think Shuey does have him slightly covered over the course of their careers.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll take the Norm Smith over the Rising Star. So, fuck you, Dyson. That's a joke.
That's a joke.
I love you, Die.
Freo, well, Caleb Sarong, absolute gun, won it last year, but before that, I've wrote some notes on Rhys Palmer just to spice it up a bit.
Ooh.
But Rhys Palmer before that, 2008, his best season that he ever had was his rookie season. After that, it was just a slow decline. I think he played like 3 years at Freo, and he was pretty serviceable after his rookie season until he snapped Michael Barlow's leg in half.
Yeah.
That really derailed his career as well. So that wasn't very nice. Rhys Palmer actually got a bit of stick for that, eh?
Yeah, that's rough. He wouldn't have meant to do that, I'm sure.
Went to GWS, did alright. Pretty underwhelming though for a rising star, and then went to Carlton, and his season sort of derailed. He was in the same draft class as Trent Cotchin and Patrick Dangerfield. So,
all right, next up we got the Cats with arguably the best player on this list. I wouldn't be surprised. Joel Selward was the last rising star winner, and he did it in a premiership year in 2007, and he was actually quite an important part of that premiership season. He's played 300 games. He won 3 flags. And second in the Brownlow in 2013. Like I said, that's probably a better resume than most of the guys on this list.
As good as a pick you can get, really. Joel Selward. Was he the youngest player to ever hit 150 games or something? Or
I wouldn't be
200 games
surprised,
or something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah, because he just literally has been best 22 since game 1, basically. So,
yeah. Gold Coast is the next one, and there was Jake Romero in 2013. He played every game for the first 2 seasons of his career, and then, yeah, after that, he just kept getting injured. In every season, he's averaged more than 20 disposals, which is pretty solid. He's a good player. Probably not the best in his draft class. That was the GWS year that he got drafted, so it come with Cornelio, Haynes, Toby Green, Taylor Adams, and Tom Mitchell, who he plays with now. He's moved to Hawthorn. He's in a pretty good midfield with Tom Mitchell and Jimmy Warple.
They're all like close to Warple's like 20 or something like that, and O'Meara's 25, and I think Mitchell's 26 or 26 and 7. Yeah.
So they're probably coming into their prime now, that Hawthorn midfield. Although they had a pretty shocking year, but you know they'll probably build next season and they could be a pretty deadly midfield. But yeah, pretty good pick for the rising star.
He was a mini draft pick for the Suns. I remember when he was drafted, he was talked about as being like one of the next big things. He's probably never got up past that B+ range just yet, but like you say, he's only like 25, 26, so plenty of time. Well, next up, we've got GWS, and this one surprised me, young Drewzy, because, yes, they don't actually have a rising star winner, which is crazy because it's been an absolute production line of talent. The amount of good players that have come out of that, that club generally, with all the access to talent, never produced one, so that's interesting. You suck.
Hawthorn, Sam Mitchell. This was in 2003. He's won a Brownlow, or after the fact. But he's won a Brownlow, 4-time premiership player, and a premiership captain. That's what you want when you draft a player, isn't it?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not too shabby. He was a fair call for the rising star, and he did love an affair. He's probably not the best bloke in the world, but, you know, would you rather have a stable marriage or 4 premiership medals?
You know, all right.
4 premierships, I don't need a wife.
All right, next up, we got a boy close to your heart. And no, I'm not talking about Samuel from uni. I'm talking about Fremantle's Jessie Hogan. That just came to me in the moment, I'm sorry. Good.
I'm gay.
Jessie Hogan, another mini draft player, sort of like Jay Romero. When he was drafted, he talked about one of the next best key forwards in the comp. Like he has a ridiculous amount of talent, and he sort of proved that. He had 152 goals in 71 games at the D's, and he had a lot of adversity, like with his dad, and like I think he had testicular cancer at one point. So put in a pretty solid innings there. Eventually got the trade home to Fremantle and hasn't quite put it together. He's kicked 19 goals from 18 games and been in and out of the team. What are your hopes for Jessie Hogan going from here? Like, how confident are you that he's going to reach his potential?
I'm not very confident. Hey, he just looks like he needs a good nap. Like, he just always, before every game, he just looks so lethargic.
Have you been sleeping?
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has been. But no, towards the end of the season, he looked decent. But yeah, definitely didn't live up to the hype when he come over here. But as a Freo forward after Pav, there is a lot of pressure riding on them. It's a 2-team town as well, so you don't really go under the radar in Perth. And yeah, he's got a lot of pressure on him. It's a tricky one with Hogan. Throwing it back for North Melbourne, it's Byron Pickett. He was a 1998 rising star. I never saw him play, or probably did, but can't remember. He played in 2 grand finals that he won, 1999 and 2004, and he won the Norm Smith in 2004. Yeah. So rising star and a Norm Smith medalist. That's
pretty good resume, actually.
Impressive.
I don't remember him being that good. I remember him as a player at Port Adelaide, and that's one thing I've just kind of forgotten.
He played 204 games, ended his career at Melbourne, and towards the end of his career, he got dropped for not showing up to a game because he was hungover. 10-year career, 2 flags, Norm Smith, rising star. Good career.
I'll have what he's having. Doesn't even make sense. All right, next up we got another Port boy, Dangle Pierce, as it came up as autocorrect when you sent it to me. Actually, you wrote dangle your nuts in my mouth, Pierce, but I'm sure you meant Daniel Pierce because he spells his name weird. This guy's interesting because he's the first rookie-listed player to actually win the Rising Star Award. So that's actually a really good achievement. Obviously, the rookie-listed players are more speculative talents, and to win the Rising Star, that's a massive achievement. He's now retired, but he did play 258 games for Port and Freo, and he was one of the first free agents, I think, to actually move from Port. Well, in general, and then move from Port to Freo. And the thing that surprised me, he actually played 104 games for Freo. I remember him playing like 1-2 seasons, if you'd asked me. But yeah, no.
Yeah, no, he was a gun for us. He played in that 2013 grand final.
Of course,
side.
yeah.
Lost his wheels towards the end of his career. Lost a lot of his pace. But no, he was a serviceable player, and he won the Waffle Premiership with Peel Thunder as well.
Oh, true.
So there you go. Peel Thunder Premiership. Wow. For Richmond, it was Brett Deleon. He was a rising star in 2005. Two-time All-Australian. Played 275 games. He was probably one of the best players for Richmond, and they were shit. Putting Richmond on his back for all those years. Moved to GWS, and Richmond won a flag.
That's actually cruel, though. That made me feel terrible for him. Yeah, played in that prelim that Richmond won, and that is heartbreaking. Actually.
Yeah, he was ahead of Buddy Franklin and Jared Roughhead. But, you know, if Hawthorn had picked up Brett Deleon, he probably would have been in the premiership midfield, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny that after all the inappropriate jokes in this video, we go to Brett Deleon and we're like, oh, he missed out on the flag. Oh. Next up, we have another contender for one of the best players on this list. We got the Saints with Nick Riewoldt. He's put together 336 games and kicked 718 goals. He's one of the club's best ever players, so an amazing pickup for the Saints when you think about it like that. And he was a 5-time All-Australian, and he actually won the MVP award in 2004, which is his third season, if I'm not mistaken. So, or third or fourth. So that's really good for a young key forward. And it was also their club's captain for a decade. So obviously he's retired now, but pretty much a massive home run for the Saints.
Yeah, one of the best players to never win a grand final as well.
Yeah.
And you see the grand finals he was in. He was in some wars, hey. That Geelong one. Obviously, Collingwood. Yeah.
I will say as well, he's actually a pretty good pundit as well. He's on the couch, and he's actually quite a smart and I think likable guy as well. So good on you, Nick.
Good like your Nick.
All right, I'll do the next one as well because you insisted on doing Ben Cousins. So I'm going to go with Sydney's Callum Mills. Now, this guy's resume doesn't quite stack up to some of the names I've said previously because he's still pretty young. He's played 78 games for the club and kicked an amazing 3 goals. Wow. But no, he is a defender, to be fair to him. He was a Swans Academy player the year after Heaney was a Swans Academy player, and both of them won the Rising Star back-to-back as well.
True.
So pretty good effort. He hasn't quite been on the same trajectory as Heaney. He sort of dipped for a while there, and he's come back a little bit. I think he had a pretty good year this year. And unfortunately for fantasy players, I think they've been talking about him playing as a midfielder through his career, but I think he's settled as that sort of tallish defender. So yeah.
He made the All-Star team as well, didn't he? For the Vicks versus All-Stars as well.
Yeah, you're right. True.
So you know that's an accolade for the young man.
Feather in your cap.
West Coast, it's obviously Ben Cousins. Although West Coast have had a lot of good young talent come through the ranks. But yeah, it's Ben Cousins. That was in 1996, 6-time All-Australian, 2006 Premiership player, 6 times in a jail, probably 35-time heroin shoot up a week.
But Brett Deleon.
But no, that's harsh. He was your favourite player growing up, you said?
Yeah, he was. I love Benny Cuz. It was obviously you had the choice of Judd, Cousins, or Kerr, and I think I switched between all of them at one point. But Cuz, he's just so handsome.
After his football career, I haven't heard him be up to much.
Yeah, true. What's he doing?
He's been out of the limelight, really.
He's really dropped off. The last thing I remember is him doing his hammy in his last game for the Eagles. Everything after that's a blur.
Yeah, probably is for him as well. I just full forgot. He won a Brownlow, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And I just forgot to mention that.
Yeah, cool.
The last team's the Bulldogs, and they've never had one.
Really?
Surprisingly.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Louis Taylor won out over the Bond. So.
Yeah, wow, there you go.
Thanks for coming on, Jesse. Go check out Jesse's channel, True Footy. Best content in AFL YouTube, and I mean it. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, you plonkers.
Thanks, dads.
Dads. Oh, yeah.